This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting, brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Gavin Gaddis, in for Tom Webster. Here's what you need to know for today, Wednesday, April 24th. Up first from the media leader, IAB says podcasts, CTV, and social video outperform digital ad market. According to the new digital ad spend report from the IAB UK, UK digital ad spend grew 11% year over year in 2023, reaching £29.6 billion, which comes out to $36.8 billion USD. Highlights include the continued growth of podcast advertising, which since 2021 has closed the gap with streaming audio to an almost even split. Podcasting has grown 23% year over year, reaching £83 million of revenue, while streaming sits at $92 million. The total growth of audio ad spend for 2023 is 12% year over year. Up next from Signal Hill Insights, what we've learned about what makes a successful branded podcast. To coincide with the release of Signal Hill Insights' 2024 benchmark report for branded podcasts, CEO Jeff Vidler shares several mindsets for aligning brand objectives with listener passion. A core tenet for a healthy branded podcast is understanding what unique value it can deliver to a listener and identifying the brand perceptions the podcast can shape. For more on Signal Hill Insights' branded podcast study, see today's data snapshot, which can be found in the web version, linked in the show notes. Up next, 5 key stats on marketing fatigue on CTV, email, and beyond from eMarketer. According to IAB data from last November, 36% of U.S. brands and agencies consider managing reach and frequencies across screens and channels to be the greatest challenge of that year. And frequency issues impact connected TV, or CTV, ad spend, with eMarketer adjusting their 2024 podcast down by $1.37 billion. Podcasting has had its teething troubles over the decade plus of growth it's had, but tests like the one Brian Barletta covered back in 2022 show podcasting's tech side has frequency capping under control. And new data is coming soon, with our upcoming study on ad frequency debuting in May. And finally, podcasting is on the verge of a global revolution. This final article from Campaign's Audio Trends series takes a look at podcasting's global growth in recent years. A YouGov survey finds 43% of respondents in Spain listen to at least an hour of podcast each week. Indonesia leads the Asia-Pacific region with 63% response on the same survey. The Australian Infinite Dial poses the country could be a world leader in regular podcast listening, with 43% of Australians aged 12 and up listening to a podcast in the previous month, and 33% listening in the last week. 1 in 10 Australians aged 12 and up listen to a podcast daily. As for the rest of the news, the official Flight Path blog covers the recent announcement that Realm has selected the company as their revenue optimization partner. AdWanted has launched Audiolab, their new cross-platform measurement tool. And The Hollywood Reporter goes behind the scenes with the New York Times on their new interview podcast, The Interview. And to tease today's data snapshot, we're taking a look at branded podcast benchmarks in a nutshell from Signal Hill's new study, and it shows 65% of the branded podcast listeners surveyed would listen to another episode. Now just consider, who would say that about wanting to listen to another ad? Be sure to check out all the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The Download is written and produced by Brian Barletta, myself, and Tom Webster. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us tomorrow.